That all the design stuff is done, I can go into Cricut Design Space and upload my design. So I hit upload. I'm going to browse. And now I'm going to find where my dust covers are. So here it is, dust cover 2, cotton. That's the one that I just made. And I'm going to hit open. And so it looks right. Everything looks good. But I always select complex because I want it to do all the fine details. So when you do a print and cut and you bring in your image, go with complex. And so I hit complex and then I hit continue. Then it says select and erase. So this is one of those situations where, okay, do I want to erase this right now? And if I do, because we want it to cut right here. So if I click it in here, it'll cut it. But guess what? It's going to cut like this. You see the little white line? If it's not 100% accurate, it is going to cut. So I'm going to do something different. I'm going to actually cut this circle. I'm going to make a circle inside of Cricut Design Space, the exact size, and I'm going to cut it there. So I think everything else is good. I'm going to zoom out. And remember when I talked about having the white fill, if I did not have the white fill, this would have been clear. So it's important when you do print and cut that you do have this fill, because if this fill wasn't here, it probably would have cut around every single line. So if you're doing print and cut and you're wondering why is it printing all over everywhere, this ribbon out and everything else? Because it does not have that fill. That is a big one I see all the time. But everything looks pretty decent and a lot of errors. I did that too in the beginning, but now I pray I don't do that anymore. So now we have the option of either doing the cut image if I just want to go in there and cut it, or I want to do the print and cut. So we're doing a print and cut. And then upload. Now, the thing with Cricut Design Space with some of their later updates, my measurements from Illustrator do not come in exact anymore. So I have to make those adjustments. And I'll show you what I mean. So now I am going to upload the other one just so I can have it in here too and work with both of them at the same time. So let me go in here, do the candles and do the wood. But let me do the wood too, the one that I showed you guys. And then again, I want to select complex and then continue. And in here, maybe for fun, I'll click inside so you can see. So the other one I'm going to create, and this one I'm going to click inside. So it says select and erase. I'm going to click in here. And it's going to erase inside. So now that's going to cut. And it might cut a little bit like this, but let's see. I'm going to zoom out so you guys can see what this dust cover going to look like and hit continue. And now I want to go over to print, then cut, and then upload. All right, so now I'm going to select both of these. I want to bring them both in. So I selected the ones that I just uploaded and then insert images. See how large they came in? And they do come in like they're a little distorted, but they print out nicely. I don't know why it does that, but I'm not going to worry too much because I know it's going to be okay. So you see this large size, it says 5.736. I don't know, it used to did not do this, but after several updates it does it. So I just have my workaround. I know I use 2 3/4, so I'm going to select it. I'm going to go up to size where it says width, and I'm going to do 2.75, and then it's already locked. So all I have to do is that and hit tab, and then the height will go accordingly. Remember, it's going to be a little bit larger because that little tab is right there. And the same thing over here, I'm going to do 2.75 because when you're making your stuff, you should know your sizes that you're working with, your measurements. And hit tab, and there we go. So this one is ready to go. Now, remember I said I was going to create my own circle, so let me zoom in. I know I created a circle that is 0.125. So I'm going to go into shapes, into circle, in Cricut Design Space, and I'm going to type in 0.125 and then hit tab, and then there's my circle. So I'm going to place my circle. Let me zoom in more to make sure I'm placing it accordingly. I think I zoomed too far off. I'm trying to place it over exactly where it has it. So this is the part where like the alignment tools, but this looks good. I moved it. Let's see. I know they do have alignment tools in here, so the only one I can really do is center horizontally, because I can't do the vertical one, because remember the circle and the tab, that's going to mess it up. So that looks good to me. And so now I need to just select those two and do the attachment. I need to go to attach so it knows to cut. So I attached it. So now I told the machine, look, I took my print and cut, brought it in, and I wanted to cut this as well as along the perimeter for the dust cover. So let me zoom out and let's see how it does. Let's go, let's make it. All right, and I'm just gonna do copies too. Now what I'm going to do is use 65-pound weight. I applied, so I want it to give me 4, because that's as much as it's going to give with their limitations. And so while it's getting my connecting to the maker, so keep in mind, if you have the maker, you can use other colors, other light color cardstock or other colors. If you have the Explore Air, you can only use white. So now I'm going to do send to printer. I'm going to remove the bleed. I don't need the bleed. I'm going to select my printer that I want. And I'm going to use the system dialog box. I've just always been comfortable. I've had issues if I don't use this, so I always make it a habit of using it, and I go to print. Now the other dialog box is going to pop up, and sometimes depending on your system it might pop up behind it and you have to move it, but mine came up. And so I'm going to select the printer again. Oh, let me go ahead and put my paper in. So this is the cardstock paper, so you can see it's a 65-pound, and this is the printer right behind us. I'm just going to put it in and hit print. And so while it's thinking and it's about to print, I am going to select my base material. So depending on what you just had your printer print and what you're about to put in a Cricut machine, mine was a light cardstock. Like I said, it was a 65-pound. So I'm going to select 65-pound. And now it is ready to go. Place it on my mat. And if it's cardstock, like this isn't a new mat. If this was a new mat, I couldn't put my cardstock on here because it might tear. But this mat has had a little bit of work. Not too much, but it's still kind of tacky, so it lays fine. Or another one is like the lightweight one. The blue mat is good for paper or cardstock. Okay, so now all I really need to do is put it in here. Let me see. And when I do add, I kind of make sure it's up against the rollers because I don't want it to come in uneven. And it's ready to go. Hi, make sure that you like the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos. the way I was working on those. And voila. Voila, this is done. See, it cut. Then you have the tabs. And you can make and design it however you want. And there we go. You see, this is the circle that I made in Cricut Design Space.